this special report. This is TruePowerIsMine. I just want to share this satanic agenda 5G exposed bit, just so that we get a full grasp of what's going on with the electronic warfare that we're basically participating in, whether you want to accept this or not.
These things are weapons, and everybody in this room, if you've got kids that you're using these things as babysitting devices, in Jesus' name, try to find a way to stop doing that. And it's never too late, because girls are born with a lot of eggs. There's a finite number, though, and they only drop a certain amount throughout their life. And you better hope that microwave beam that came out of that antenna didn't burn the one up that just happened to be the one that's trying to be in the same room as that sperm when she finally meets her husband after going to college for 15 years and buying a house. And then she ends up going to the in vitro fertilization clinic and they can't have a child.
Now, you know what he's alluding to? It's the low fertility rate. It's recently been reported in males, but it will soon be reported in females as well. And don't forget.
And you know what happens when people can't get pregnant? There's another side to this besides the fact that God is really upset about the fact that people are not being created to inhabit eternity. Kidnappings start increasing.
Boom. There it is. Kidnapping starts increasing. And what did they just discover up in Michigan today?
Social service systems expand their reach and steal children, even more than they're already stealing now. Because guess what happens when children become commoditized? Price goes up.
And that's where we're at, folks. Don't forget, the government has shut down. Things are getting crazier.
And what happens when the price goes up?
And by the way, this is the Fullerton Informer, aka Joe.
People will do crazy things to get their hands on it. So there's nowhere to go but down, folks. And silence on this only ensures that one day it might be your kid that may end up getting plucked out of the supermarket when you're not looking. I don't know how far off this is, but it's coming.
Well, it's coming quicker than you realize. Now he's going to go into some stuff about Apple and all that and architecture. That's not really the real bit I want. I think I want it right here.
Ultimately, at the very top of the government are Satan-worshipping pedophiles.
Bam. That's the gravy right there. That's the gravy train. He just said it. And then he's going to go ahead and elaborate on on it all. Listen, guys, there is a true spiritual war out here. It's not Democrat, it's not conservative, it's not liberal, it's not libertarian, it's not black, it's not white. It's simply good versus evil.
And that's a fact. And I don't care how you want to defend this, you can't. Because you can't climb that ladder unless they can get you in a compromised position on camera on your way up. That's how people move up the chain. They do bad stuff, they let it get photographed, and it goes into the file. Any of you that may have been around when J. Edgar Hoover was running the FBI, you know what I'm talking about. That's
what we've been told. How many times has Mark from Anaheim told us this about J. Edgar Hoover's, or Gay Edgar Hoover's activities? But see how he was a part of the Luciferian Team Lucifer overall. Because he paves the way for the next guy, paves the way for the next guy, and so on and so forth. Until we get to the point to where the corruption and filth of it all is boiling out at such an epic proportionate rate, it can no longer be ignored.
That's how that man operated. Nothing has changed. The corruption is so endemic. And what you see on TV is the overflow, the oozing out of all the wickedness. I haven't watched television for over 20 years, and there's a reason.
He's really not missing much. You know, all this crap, guys, everything, is pre-programming. From the Sandbox to the Purge, all of that Even look what they did and how they twisted The Last Jedi. They made Luke a pretty morally correct character into a coward. And guess what? Cowards are going to be the first going into the lake of fire.
Because I'm not going to let them ram this crap down my throat. Because when you go to a restaurant blindfolded with a stranger and they say, eat this, you're not going to do it. Well, that's what the TV does. It feeds you stuff before you have a chance to understand what's coming into the eyes, the windows to your soul. That's a problem. The TV is full of killing and raping and murdering and these bizarre artificial intelligence, humanoid, demonic creatures from the pit of hell. And so are the video games. It's spilling over from the top. Hollywood, the bottoms, they've pulled all the stops out, folks. Morality's gone because wickedness is abounding in high places. There are more alcoholics and drug addicts and pedophiles in Washington, D.C. than anywhere else per capita in the world.
Bam. Wow. Did you hear that, guys? In Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, our nation's capital. I guess the only place that's debased as that would probably be, I don't know, Salt Lake City?
Maybe Hollywood comes in second place. So that's a really strange coincidence.
Then there's just another little bit, a little rallying point here at the end. I think it's after this.
On page 7 of this document, it talks about how non-thermal power levels of microwave radiation logical changes to the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Page 7, second paragraph. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing right here
is the method to the plan. Once again, when it is exposed to you, once you receive the information, it's no longer a secret.
is something that the devil himself has designed. That is a satanic company with technology deployed in the laps of every school-age child in the United States, and they're basically putting it out there in their landscape architecture plans what they're doing. That's evil. This breaks my heart. I can't sleep at night. I saw probably one of the saddest moments of my life. And I've seen a lot of things. I've buried my father. I've seen people die. I've seen people die of cancer. But I was driving to school, and I'm driving by a school, and I saw these Hispanic women that look like the ones that come from the mountains of Mexico. You could tell they're poor, but they're walking these little girls to school, and it looked like they had First Communion dresses on because they thought they were helping these children.
He's getting a little emotional, guys. We have to try to keep emotions out of this, or else it causes us to lose focus. A spade is a spade.
By getting them an education. And these wicked people that won't listen, it's right here, it's right there. And these girls are getting brought into these classrooms. Zonia knows, I probably put 10,000 flyers on cars in my community. And the parents won't budge because they want to get their nails done. They want their kids at school so they can go out and hang out with their girlfriend.
Now, this is where I think the disconnect is happening. This is where I think Brother Joe's here is wrong. No, most parents realize that that company that he just bashed, Apple, is the future. And they want their children, unfortunately or fortunately, from whatever point of view, to have the best shot at it. They cannot, listen, those Hispanic children, the black children, the poor white children, can ill afford not to get an education at this point. In fact, we need as many of them as we can to get the so-called degree, the so-called diploma, so that that can be one less item that can legally be used to discriminate against them as far as pertaining to employment. And then this is where these guys like this guy here lose it. He's going to go down a different path. Continue.
Friends that go to the gym. I don't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really serious. I mean, you know, you've got people in my community, all the school boards on the high school, and
maybe the next time when Mark gets on, we can speak about his community, Fullerton, California. It's that's the disconnect. But a lot of information is really right on in this presentation as far as the microwaves frequencies coming off of certain devices, messing with the mitochondrial part of the eggs in the female bodies, basically render them useless is pretty good information to know, and you can protect yourself accordingly. I have no idea who this is, so I can't answer it just yet. Or, hold on. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Hey, pretty good. How you doing?